This episode of Conquering Kerbal Space Program is brought to you by Kitronics, a ridiculous patron here at Hot Tips. Thank you so much for your support. What's up, guys? Charlie here. Welcome back to Conquering Kerbal Space Program. Today is a beautiful day. And it's a beautiful day because I get to play KSP. But it's also a beautiful day because I've gone through the names of everyone in the comments of that recruitment video to see, like who wants to be part of Conquering Kerbal Space Program, who wants to join Pryor, Interstellar Incorporated, and there are 160 names of people who have death wishes. 160 people apparently want to go down in a fiery glory in a rocket that I've built. So that's a lot of people. Obviously, I can't have all of you in the game right now, but I do hope to eventually incorporate everyone as time goes on, as we rescue more Kerbals, as we hire new Kerbals, etc., etc. So I've gone through the list, and what I've done is I've put all the names and professions and the sex and all that stuff in a spreadsheet. Then I grouped those people together by profession. So engineers are together, pilots, scientists, and then there's another group that's just any, because they didn't give me a job that they wanted, or they said any job will be fine. So I've done all that, and then I used a random number generator to fill in the slots after I put patrons in. So patrons were first, and then random number generator for everyone else. So that's as fair as I can possibly do it. And so, would you guys like to see who's in the game? If you're not in the game right now, don't worry, don't feel bad. You're going to be in it eventually once I get Kerbals. But again, it's just gonna be RNG. I'm not gonna control it. I don't even know your usernames in the comments. I can't associate them with the actual name that you've given me, unless of course it's very similar. But even then, it's just RNG. So it is what it is. And if you get rolled RNG wise, and the character that you've been rolled for is not the same sex that you've requested, then I just roll again until the result is the same sex as well as the same job. So, okay, Astronaut Complex. Here we go. We have 3 people available on the planet side. So 3 Kerbals available on the planet, and that is now Wilmer, Jack R, and Alejandro. You guys are in. Engineer, pilot, and scientist, thank you for joining the team. I hope you don't die soon. So those are our newbie recruits. They are experienceless, and we will get plenty of use out of them over time as well. Looks like we actually have a pretty decent engineer here I could recruit as well. Decent courage, really, really low stupidity. But recruiting is getting really expensive. It's 402,000 now. It was like 300,000. I actually purchased one, and it was like 300,000 before. And you go through all these things, and eventually, the more Kerbals you have, the more expensive it is to hire new ones. It's really nuts. Okay, so those are the new recruits. Welcome to the team. Now, here is the tab for assigned, and I have replaced the starting 4. So Jeb, Bill, Bob, and Valentina have been replaced by you guys. So I will let you know which one of you guys have replaced who. And also, you'll be able to see where you are currently. So you can follow along your journey. You'll be able to see your location. Here you go, assigned tab. Try to ignore the tourists because nobody has been placed as a tourist. So I'll just go down the list, I guess. If I mispronounce your name, I really apologize for that. Please, in the comments, correct me. Maybe put like a phonic spelling, if you will, so I know how to say it better. Farbad Kerman. Farbad, you are in. You're a scientist, and you are currently on the Minmus Science 1 ship. You're currently researching on the surface of Minmus. Cool. You are joined on the surface of Minmus by 2 other scientists, Andrew M. Kerman. I did have multiple Andrews. I had multiple Andres. I had a couple of names where there was multiples of that first name because they're fairly common names. And so if you didn't give me a middle initial, I've gone ahead and actually applied a middle initial based on your YouTube username. If it was similar to, in this case, Andrew M was very similar. And I think there was another Andre as well. I think there's 2 Andres as well. So you guys were all very similar, and I went ahead and just applied it just for the sake of doing so. Okay, so you're joined by Andrew M. Kerman and Felix F. Kerman on the Minmus Science 1. Welcome to the team, guys. Then we have Andre G. You are a scientist that's currently on the surface of the moon, and you are joined by Ashley, who guys are both on the moon, so congratulations on that. Hope you don't die later when I try to rescue you. I'm sorry. I'm going to be making that joke a lot now, especially since the Kerbals' names are you guys. I'm really going to be like, oh, please don't kill them. Please don't kill them. Next up is Giovanni. We have our Italian scientist, and you are, look at the stats on this. I didn't control this. I basically just picked a name, said I'm going to replace you with this person, random number generator, go. But Giovanni, our Italian scientist, is apparently a genius. He doesn't have anything on stupidity at all. And he's actually fairly decently courageous. So the crazy Italian genius, I don't know, the eccentric Italian has arrived. Giovanni, you're in, and you're on the PISS in the Kerbotat. So there you go. Most of these names are going to be on the PISS, as you can imagine, because we have a lot of Kerbals on the station right now. So that's just the way it is. Now, there's one person, and he's a ridiculous patron, so I've gone ahead and I've made an exception to my naming convention for him. We have Doug McKerman. So he's the only one that's not the same last name. He is the Highlander. He's a Highlander, or he's from the Highlands. He's not from around here. He was discovered. I don't know how the backstory can go for that. But Doug McKerman, you have replaced Bill, and you are in on the PISS. So there you go, buddy. You are no longer Bill. Bill is no longer Bill. Now Doug McKerman has taken that slot. So there you go. Another engineer, we have John E. Kerman. Welcome to the team. You are also on the PISS. Dylan Kerman, you are a scientist. You are also on the PISS. Let me just double check really quick. Yes, Dylan, you have actually replaced Bob. So, where the hell are you? I lost it. I lost where you are. Here you are. You've actually replaced Bob, and you're on the PISS. So, there you go. Now, when you replace characters, when you replace the starting four, if you change their name at all, they lose the orange suits. So you guys are all going to be in the same suits now, which is fine. I don't necessarily need you to be in any special colored suit or anything, so whatever. It is what it is. Sam J.K. Kerman, another person I kind of made an exception for on the naming convention because I didn't want to have multiple letters in the middle initial, but you know what? It's only an extra one, and lots of people have like the hyphenated middle names and things like that, so I said, whatever, we'll do it. Sam J.K. Kerman, you are in as a scientist, PISS. Sandriel, I hope I said that name correctly. Sandriel Kerman, you are in as a pilot, and you, if I am not mistaken, have replaced Valentina. So there you go. You're in Valentina's body. Not really. Scroll down a little bit here. We have more names, so don't get discouraged if you haven't seen it yet. Alicia Kerman, you are in as a scientist. You're on the PISS. Now, these are tourists, so they're not replaced yet. They're not going to be replaced because they're tourists. They're going to go away after their mission is over with, so forget that. Come on down. We have Kit Kerman. This is Kitronics, and he has replaced Jebediah, I believe. Yeah. He's replaced Jeb. So, Kit Kerman, there you go. You're in. And he's on the PISS in the S2 reusable pod. Okay. Then we have Andre H. Kerman. You're a pilot on the PISS. Welcome to the team. Freya L. Kerman, you're on as a pilot. So, congrats on that. Hope I don't kill you. Just kidding. I'm gonna overuse that. I'm sorry. I just am. Laura Lee Kerman, another person that I thought maybe it wasn't their full name. I wasn't sure, but they kind of typed it like this, so I went ahead and just went with it. Laura Lee Kerman, you're in. Scientist. Jaden Kerman, scientist, you're in. We have, and I'm hoping I don't mispronounce this because you're a patron. Villy V. Villy V. I'm going to go with Villy V unless you correct me. Villy V. Kerman, engineer. You're in. You're on the PISS. A lot of you guys are on the PISS. But for our current mission, and this is just the luck of the draw, this is the way it happened. For the current mission to Minmus, the 3 Kerbals that are on the vessel to Minmus. Michael P. Kerman, engineer. You are in right here. Jesse Kerman, you're in. Engineer. 2-star engineer. Cool. Very low stupidity, but also kind of a chicken. And then for the pilot on that mission, we have Shane Kerman, aka Cocoa Bean. you are in as a pilot for the mission. So that's who I have in the game so far. Don't get discouraged if you're not here. I'm really sorry if you're not here. I'm gonna try to get as many people in here as possible, and as we get more Kerbals into the game, more people will be added as time goes on. Again, it's just a random number generator with patrons having priority. So if new people are there, new people are there. I think Wilmer was added because he at the last minute Wilmer said, "Hey, I want to be a patron," or at the last minute he said, "I want to be in the game," and I was like, "Okay, cool, you're in." Where is he? I thought for sure I put. Oh, I think he's available. Yeah, he's right here. Okay. Whew. Okay, cool. And then, in case anyone's wondering, the one that's killed in action is still Bartman. I have not changed his name, and I'm not going to, because Bartman is Bartman, and he's dead, and who wants to be dead? Apparently all of you guys do. Okay, let's get started on this mission. We are going to Minmus, and we need to figure out the absolute precise location I want to land and have my base set up. And there's only one way to do that, and that's to get a rover on the surface. All right, so spaceplane hangar rover time. This is actually one of the things that is not rocket science in this game. The first thing I wanted to do here, the first rover I tried, and I actually ended up doing a different design, but this one I'm actually gonna save because it's really useful. I wanted to get a design that would allow me to both scan the surface as well as move things around on the surface. And so the idea behind this design is sort of with these girders is to sort of elongate the rover and make it a little bit longer so that I can make it a little bit wider, but also so that I can have a bit more utility. Yeah, those wheels are way too big. A bit more utility out of this thing later on. Now, this design is meant to, it's kind of an experiment, and I sort of was just playing around with things for a while, so this build process is going to be kind of jittery and skipping around a little bit, but essentially this is your base, your core design here. And then from here, what I'm thinking of doing is putting claws and grabbing arm units, whatever you want to call it, on the sides, on both sides. And the purpose of that is so that I can grab something with one rover and then grab something with the other rover, which is built exactly the same way. And by having it grabbed, whatever the object I'm trying to move, having that grabbed on both sides with the claws on both rovers allows me to drive it sort of symmetrically. Whatever it is I'm carrying, I can drive it symmetrically. The same thing goes with the front and the back claws, because I can probably have, if it's a longer craft or a long tank or something, I can have one of them grab it on the front, one of them grab it on the back, and both of the rovers at the same time can push that object in the direction I want. Now, this part here, I'm actually going to remove the claws temporarily because I'm going to put docking ports on the ends of these trusses. And the reason why I do that is because I like to use every single bit of space possible in these crafts. And if you put a docking port in there, you can actually slip batteries inside these little structural components, these little structural units. So I've got batteries tucked in inside each one of those little trusses, and it works really, really well. I'm also going to stock monopropellant and some thrusters on this rover because if we're hauling something heavy, it might need some help, and that's going to help it. Now, I wanted to send this up in like a big cargo bay, but unfortunately, this thing is just a little bit too wide to fit in a cargo bay. So rather than trying to figure out this design and how to make it fit in a giant cargo bay, I'm just going to redesign another rover to do our mission for today and save this design for later, something I can build on the surface. This rover is a bit more traditional, a bit more simpler in design. Essentially, it's just going to be some batteries, some wheels, an antenna, and the sensors that I need, or the, I guess, surface scanners that I need in order to scan the surface for the materials, the ore, and etc. There is a water scanner from K&K as well as a surface scanner here, and then we're going to be putting a solar panel on the back, and I move some things around because I want to be able to figure out how I want to arrange these things to make it look the best and function the best. And I will end up actually moving these batteries to the bottom of this rover eventually because of how I want to launch it into space. And how I want to launch it into space, well, it didn't really work the way I wanted to initially. I was going to put a docking port on the bottom, strap some rockets on the bottom of this thing, and then just go. And that didn't really, I didn't feel like that was going to work, and I wanted something a bit more elegant for the delivery. So we're going to be using this cargo bay here. This is the Lithobrake. I think it's a 2.5 meter expanded cargo bay or something like that from Lithobrake. And I'm going to sort of fasten the rover to the top of it. I will eventually shift the two separators I have at the roof of this. I will eventually shift that out and put like a structural unit with a separator instead. But essentially, this is just going to hold the rover in place, and it's going to give me a way to separate the rover rover from the cargo bay and then just drive it right on out of there. There is a little bit of a complication to that in the sense that I'm going to have to extend the antenna at the same time I stage the separator, just so that the antenna is in the process of extending by the time I, separate it. Because if I separate the rover before I have the antenna extended, I won't ever be able to control it without getting an engineer down there. So that's pretty much it. Then I'm gonna put some monopropellant around it. We're gonna put some rockets on it. We're gonna launch it into space and everything will be cool. Now this, I'm gonna use these little blisters, these little blaster monopropellant cannon things on the sides, because these are actually gonna be my landing stage. My landing stage on Minmus isn't actually going to be propelled by liquid fuel and oxidizer or anything like that. It's gonna be propelled by monopropellant only with those things. I'm gonna separate myself from the rest of the craft so that the lithobrake cargo bay ends up flat on the surface of Minmus. And I'm gonna do that by essentially utilizing the really powerful blasters, monopropellant blasters that are here, utilizing those to slow my descent and control my craft after it's done. And that's pretty much it. And here you can see I'm taking the structural unit, trying to figure out which one actually works the best. But I'm going to take the structural unit, going to put it in position where I want, going to put everything, you get it, it's there, you can see it. Then the last thing I'm going to do is tilt the rocket because I felt like it, put it on the launch clamps, and go. Alright, so we're on the surface. We need to head west now, because I'm pretty sure that's where I need to go to get the uranium and stuff. Yeah, a little bit. I need to go about here, I think. Pretty much there. I don't need uranium. I'm just kind of like interested in getting it. It's pretty much it. I also want my ore to be 7%. Right where I am is 4. If I come up to this way, it'll be... There's a spot here where it turns... At least there was a spot where it kind of turns... Maybe I have a more accurate picture now of the surface now that I'm down on the... Because there was like 7% and type stuff down here. But it's still, 5% is better than where I have. So if I got to here... So I need to go northwest, basically. Northwest of the landing site. So pretty much... I'm not actually sure how to tell where that is. The sun is that way, so sun is west. So basically head towards the sun. This is backwards. My steering is backwards. I don't know why my steering is backwards. Let's invert the motors. Take the brakes off. There we go, that's better. All right, so we're gonna head towards, whoa. This thing really wants to flip over, which isn't the best of things because my antenna, the way I had to install it, it's kind of like pointing outward. So if I tip over too far, like look at the wheels, they're not even touching the ground. Not sure what to think of that, but I have to head this way, so I am, pretty much. Kind of want to keep an eye on this reading. Should turn to 1%. I mean, I'm going the right direction to get more water, so that's good. I'm going to keep an eye on this reading too. We should see close to 5%, when we are where I want to be. Or pretty close to this anyway. If I go to about there, that's pretty much, I mean, it's so close, but that's pretty much where we are, and that's uranium's at 4% here. So that's pretty cool. Substrates are pretty much non-existent here. Rare metals, also kind of non-existent, darn it. Minerals, can we get those? We can get those. 2% here. Metallic ore. Metallic ore is either 5% or 4%, which is still pretty good. I need that, so that's good. Alumina. Alumina. Still don't know what alumina does. Ore concentrations on top of us are pretty good. I don't know why this is telling me 4%, because the little scanner module that I have on me is telling me a lot. Oh wait, oh no, we're here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. This is the one we're on. Oh, darn it. Okay, that's good. Maybe there's hope then. So this is 6% where we are. Right underneath us is 6%. Metallic ore is, it's hard to tell. It's either 0, 2, or 4, which is kind of a bummer. I'd like this to be more precise, but I wish I could zoom in more, but I can't. So metallic ore says 4% at these coordinates, which is not quite where we are. This one here is a little closer to where we are. It says 2%. So I might go by this. As long as it's not the 0, should be okay, as long as it's not the 0. It's pretty hard to tell. Might want to try going back a bit. Go back like to the west. Minerals is like, yeah, it's either 0 or 2. It's pretty, but if I go back to the west, it's definitely gypsum. We're not going to get any of, looks like. Oh wait. Oh yeah, that's why it was 0, because I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, so we might actually have 3 gypsum here. Let me just get the coordinates here. 57. I can't move my mouse in small enough increments to make that go to 56. To make that go to 37 minutes, I don't think. Well, maybe. Okay. So there we go. It says 1% here. If I go just a tad bit more east. Okay, so I need to come south. That's the thing. I need to come south more. 27 minutes. Okay. This is a painstaking process, you guys. This is how long this stuff takes. This is why Kerbal Space Program episodes don't come out every day. Come out once a week or something, if I can. All right, so we need to go to the south. So I'm gonna turn myself this way. Basically our coordinates. All right, I'm gonna go just a little bit to the east now. A little bit more east. Which is just, it's kind of a, I mean, this kind of thing is so meticulous. It's so specific, and yet that's kind of the way it would be in real life, right? I mean, resources don't just appear everywhere. They're only in very specific spots. Let's go ahead and kill my velocity again. Hit the brakes, and we are now 68.45.4. Looks like I need to go to at least 47 before I can get anything, probably. All right, we'll hit the brakes here. I'm gonna go ahead and call this. I really have to be very specific with this base, though. I don't know, guys. I don't know where I want to be here. I really wish I had, I guess, the experience to understand what it was that was most important to me. Oh, look at this. Check out the gypsum map, right? This is the gypsum map, and like this is the sliver of gypsum. Right here, this like little vine of gypsum going up here. And we're sitting, if I zoom in, I wonder how far this thing will let me zoom. Pretty far. I want to see this down to like my wheel. This is pretty big. This is a pretty good. Yeah, we're right on it. We're right on the gypsum right now, which is pretty cool. I like to know that. If I want to go to metallic ore and check that out, it's going to wipe it for some reason, but if I let it load and then I go and zoom out one, usually it works. And of course I say that now and it does probably won't, but there it goes. It's been working. Now look at that. Right where the gypsum is, the metallic ore is not. So we're right on the hair, like right on the edge of where metallic ore can be. It's either there or there, but it's not where we are. So basically what this is I'm sitting on top of, like, think of it like a river, right? So if I want water, I gotta be here, but because the water's here, other things can't be here. That's kind of how that's like working. It's not, except it's not water, it's something else. Speaking of water, is there water here where I am? Oh, maybe not. I don't think so. It's right next to us though. Not where we are, but right next to us, there is water. So I'm thinking this rover is a pretty good marker. Land just to the west of the rover and you have access to a lot of resources. This little marker is no longer where I want to land. Now the probe is going to mark it. Let's check uranium. And I think this is working smoother now. I have it synced. I have it synchronized to big map. I can either synchronize it to the vessel or synchronize it to the big map, and I've chosen to do it to the big map. So here we go. Uranium. Right? It's just now uranium is actually just to the east of us. So this is the opposite. So really this whole zone here, we could have a pretty extensive mining operation with multiple drills just kind of spaced out, and we can be getting some really good stuff. Have them all connected with some piping, CCR2 ports and stuff, have them all connected with piping and stuff, and then all the resources will just funnel into like a central tank node of some kind, and then that central tank area will all be connected. We can have that connected to a launch pad, and then we can have a vehicle on the launch pad that can move up and down. I'm getting a lot of ideas here, guys. Getting a lot of little ideas, and our little base beta, if you will, the base that I was showing you before, I'm kind of thinking now that I'm gonna throw that idea out the window because, well, I mean, yeah, because it's not gonna be as effective. I'm kind of liking this. This is cool. I'm imagining right now having like our Pioneer module in the middle, and this is gonna mine. I don't even like the design of our Pioneer module right now. I got half of mine just to bring everyone back home. But I'm gonna drop it down anyway, because it can get some things. And I might, like, I don't know, if it's possible to attach regular drills to it, I probably would just do that. I might do that. But like imagine having like you got a vessel with a little tank here connected to like a giant fuel tank, like a circular fuel tank kind of thing. Right? To have like this one of those really big toroidal tanks or something just laying on the ground. I don't know. Or maybe you'd have a bunch of smaller tanks just sort of in a circle around a launch pad, and then have all these different mining things just kind of around it. I don't know. It's kind of something I'm curious about trying. I want to see if I can get every single possible from one mining operation. And if that mining operation has to be in several little components and parts, that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't really mind that much at all. Now, exotic minerals. Are we close? We're pretty close. But I don't think I think it's on the other side of the gypsum. I think the gypsum is really separating this gypsum area is really separating a lot of stuff. Yeah. Exotic materials is over here, but exotic minerals isn't anywhere else. What about, I don't know what that's for. What about, all right, now minerals is the one thing we probably can't get here. Probably. Minerals. Yeah. I'm thinking minerals is the one thing we're not going to get. Oh, I might be totally wrong. I am totally wrong. Nice. Oh man, this is perfect. This spot is gold. Write these coordinates down right here. Write it down because that's awesome. Yeah, uranium's on the other side. Okay, I think this is it. This is where we're going to land. This is where our base is going to get set up. And I am going to do that in the next episode because this is taking a long time. I've already been sitting here for several hours. So that's going to do it, guys. Like the video if you like it. Give me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts if they're, you know, positive, negative. I don't care. I like to read them all. And I will see you guys next time where I think I have to really formulate a new idea, a new plan for this because I don't think my old plan is gonna cut it anymore. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty excited about it. Come back for the next one and find out what happens.